What's going on, guys? And welcome to Knox Knowz. Today we're going to take a look at the Vaporesso Revenger Kit. And don't mind the scruffy face. It's No Shave November, so it's only going to get worse. So let's go down, take a look at this. I'll run you through the menu real quick. It's going to be kind of a short video, and then we'll come back on top and I'll give you my final thoughts on it. Alright, let's do this. Alright, so let's take a look at the Vaporesso Revenger Kit. We're going to do a little bit up close. Take a look at the box. Got your nice packaging. Over here on the side, it's got the Omni board. I'm actually a really big fan of this board. It's really solid. It says something about a revolutionary IML casing. I'm guessing it's supposed to be durable. It says environmentally friendly. Twist open on the tank. It just gives you some specs here. On the back, you got the specifications. You got your mod size, your tank size, your mod weight, your tank weight, the output power display, resistance range, your temperature control range, your output mode, the different types of settings that you got on here with the nickel, the titanium, stainless steel, your TCR values. Here comes with what it contains. It's going to contain your Revenger mod, one NRG tank, one G4 core, and one GT8 core, one extra Pyrex glass tube, and a USB charging cable, which is super good because we don't have enough of those already. Just where it was made. Let's open this up. And you're just going to flip this guy open. And you're presented with Be Amazed. Are you ready to be amazed? Let's do this. If you pop open this side, you're going to see that you got your Revenger, your tank, your extra glass, and your spare coil. On this side, this is going to have pretty much your warranty card, your USB cable, I kind of like these braided cables. It's like something new. I don't need that anymore. You're going to have your quick guide instructional menu, like nice little flip open. Don't really I never ever look at these things ever. Kind of just big and it's in the way and I don't like it. This is gonna be more, and in here in this little envelope there's your warranty card. Now I don't know about Vaporesso's warranty, but most of the companies with a warranty card, they don't really seem to stand behind their products too much, but I haven't had any problems really with any Vaporesso products, so I'm guessing the Revenger is going to operate just like the rest of their stuff, and it's going to be pretty sturdy, so I'm not too worried about the warranty card on this. And then you get this little warning card. Do not use this device for anything other than vaping. What else could you possibly use it for? Now let's get down to the meat and potatoes. Take a look at this Revenger. And I'm going to pull these off. It's nice they put it on there. Not sure if it's actually supposed to protect it or if it's just so that you don't get fingerprints on this really glossy finish. I like the way that this looks. This blue is super sexy. Takes two 18650 batteries. You'll be presented with that in the back. It's got a centered 510. It's really nice and sturdy. And I like this fire button. It's got this nice curve to it. So I haven't had any problems with these, like not firing. And of course, since it's the Omni board, if you've ever dealt with the Omni board, you're going to have your 3-button configuration. You're going to have your plus, your minus, and right here, this is going to guide you through the menu. This is for your settings. You got a USB. Now, I do not suggest that you use this for charging. It's pretty much for upgradability or like firmware fixes. Let's put that to the side and let's take a look at the NRG Tank. Now, the NRG Tank is a lot like the Big Baby Beast. In fact, I would say the design is pretty similar. It's pretty much the same exact thing, even down to the coils. You can actually use the Baby Beast coils in the tank. It's got a nice top fill feature. I like this better than the smoke with the swivel hinge. It feels just a little bit tighter, and I do kind of like the way that this one just slides a little bit. You're gonna have a nice wide bore drip tip. Let's see if we can get that guy out of there. It's a little slippery. And it's gonna have a spit guard right in it. Put that back down. This will take your 810 drip tips, and I do believe, if I remember correctly, they do give you a 510 adapter. It's in the packaging, along with a vape band, some extra O-rings, and the spare glass. Now the NRG Tank is going to hold 5 mils of liquid, but before we can put liquid in there, we need to prime the coil, and I believe it comes installed with the 4, and I'm gonna opt to switch that out for the 8, which is the spare coil that it comes with. Really firm in there. Oh, God. Well, it does come with that one installed. I'm gonna use this coil. That O-ring back in there so I can make sure that it's gonna stay nice and tight. Twist that off. And we're gonna prime up this coil. Shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna move this package out of the way. I'm going to use this Flantastico by Saveur. It's got a really good custardy taste to it. I really like this. Caramel and like cinnamon sugar kind of feel to it. Super good. Now I'm just going to drop some juice right into the center of this and let it just kind of move its way into the coils as it sees fit. I don't want to flood them out, so I'm gonna twist it off to the side and let it absorb. Because you know I'm not a patient person on this. I don't do the whole put some juice on the top of it, let it absorb, stick it in the tank. I just prime the coil, the whole thing, all the way through. I'm not big on doing it any other way. I found that this works the best for me, and that's the way I like to do it, so that's the way I'm gonna keep doing it. Alright, she's looking like she's done. Put it back in here. Put the tank all back together. Go ahead and slide that open. Just fill her right up. It's a really wide opening on the top. It's going to accommodate all your bottles, whether it be a unicorn bottle, needle nose bottle, or even the pipettes. It's going to work. I preferably don't like the pipettes, but definitely going to work. We're just going to set that off to the side. Let's get into this. Put a couple of batteries in this guy. Batteries in. It's going to present you with the Vaporesso logo on the front. So you're going to have your 5 watts, and this device is going to go all the way up the very slow pace to 220 watts. I'm just going to set it back at like 70. Now, you know what, we'll do 72. I want to be odd, we're going to do 72. It does go up in 1 watt increments, and I've heard a lot of people say that they don't like the 1 watt increment. It doesn't really bother me that much. I kind of like having that just because of the control, because that does actually alter the voltage of the batteries. Now, to get into your settings, you can just hold this button down right here, if you've ever dealt with the Omniboard. And now I'm in temp control for stainless steel. You can control your temperature here, going up and down. Hold again, I'm at nickel, titanium. Now we're getting to our TCR values. There's memory function 1, memory function 2. Got your bypass mode. This is going to operate like an unregulated or mech mod. It's pretty much just going to drain off the voltage of the battery. Now it says system set here, and I was trying to get into this system set and I couldn't quite figure out how to get into it. Like, I tried just slowly clicking it. If you press the fire button though and the down button at the same time, it's going to bring you into the menu, and you can do that at any time. You don't actually have to go to system set to do that. And here you can change your variable watt mode. You can go into the VT mode, which if we go in here, this is where you're going to be able to change the watts for your temperature control. Back out of there. I'm just going to hold that down again. Got your time set, which is kind of cool. You can change the time. Now, the one thing that I will say is that I've been messing around with these clocks, and the only problem is when you take the batteries out and you change the batteries, if for some reason, at least in my experience so far, it'll reset itself back to what you see already on the screen, and then you have to go back through here and you have to do it again. It's not that big of a deal. It just is what it is. We scroll through here. You can obviously change the dates and the times. You can have the pointer, you can have it off, or you can just have it on the numbers. I'm just going to change it to off because it serves no purpose. You got your default settings, which means you can go back through here and you can just default it back to the way that it came out of the box. Now, you got your smart settings. Now, what this is going to do is this is going to, when you put it on smart setting, when you screw down an atomizer, the Omniboard is going to choose what kind of wattage it thinks that the coil can handle. And sometimes it's really accurate, and sometimes it's not, depending on what you're throwing on there. I mean, obviously, if you're throwing on an RDA, I would probably say to turn it off because it's going to need a little bit more power than, say, your sub-ohm tanks are. I'm just going to turn it off. You got your screen timeout. You can go 20 seconds. You can go down all the way down to 3 seconds. You can have this thing just turn off immediately. And 120 seconds for the longest term. I'm going to put this at 30 seconds. Seems to be my favorite, is around 30 seconds. I feel like I get enough time. I can look at everything. Real nice and clicky. You got your brightness level. Here you can turn it down and turn it up. Your puff counter. Puff count is at 5. I can just go over here. We hit this button. And it'll reset it. And then you can just exit straight out. And we're going to go back to variable watts. Like it. Now, the Revenger feels very solid in the hand. The only thing I worry about is right here where the screen is. It sounds, when you push on it, it sounds a little flimsy, so I don't know how that would handle in a drop test, but I'm gonna do that drop test a little bit later on in a different video. I don't really want to break this thing right now. Checking the atomizer. Now, when you put on an atomizer, it's going to ask you if it's an old load or a new load. Obviously, this is new, so I'm going to click that. And it's reading 0.16. Coil says it's supposed to be 0.15. It's reading 0.16. So it's pretty accurate. It's not 100%. That could also just be the coil, though. The coil could actually just not be a 0.15. It could be a 0.16, and the device could be accurately reading that coil. Now, for some reason, this is an option, but if you hold down both the plus and the minus, it will flip the screen. I don't know why you'd want to look at it upside down. I guess that's just something that could be, or possibly, I mean, I guess if you're hitting it like this, but that just seems kind of stupid. So I'm gonna click it back down. 72 watts. Now if you hold down the fire button and the plus button, nothing happens. You hold down the menu button or the settings button with the fire button, nothing happens. Oh, yep, there we go. Now it's showing you the version of the firmware. And if you hold this down, remember what I told you about getting into the settings? It'll bring you into those settings no matter when you go in there. Just at all times you can get in there. And that's it, guys. It's pretty much all there is to it. The Omni board is really simple and a very accurate chip. I do like the way that the Omni works. Let's take it back up on top. I'm gonna hit a vape from this, and I'll give you my final thoughts on it. All right, so we're back up top here with the Vaporesso Revenger Kit. This is actually a really nice mod. It's a really nice tank. I like the way that this actually functions. I've been enjoying the Revenger a whole lot. The one thing I can say about this kit is I do like the way that everything just seems to pair up, and I do like the airflow on this tank. I do like the way that the chip functions. I like that it's very user-friendly, very easy to handle. Anybody could do it. I really do not care for the drip tip that comes stocked with this tank, though. It feels a little restrictive, and I think that's because of that spit guard that's down in there. I get it. It's kind of a cool idea, but it just seems a little bit tight, and it makes the tank a little bit whistly. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I kind of feel like I'm trying to vape through a straw, and I don't really care for that. Flavor's really good, though, off these coils. Now, the price point on these guys is around like $65 to $85 what I've seen them for. It's a really nice, durable setup. Doesn't really have too much on the cons end. The only thing I can say is that I don't really care for how fingerprinty this thing is. Outside of that, this is a great mod. I mean, it's a great mod. Vaporesso has been doing awesome things. They have been continuing to do awesome things. They've been impressing me since they came out with the Target kit. A little weird design. I didn't really care for the tank that came with that, but the Target mod itself was very interesting. It was very comfortable, and it even had that little groove on the top for your thumb when you're trigger firing it. They just keep bringing out newer stuff, and they do a really good job at it. The one thing I like about Vaporesso, it seems to me, is that they actually run through everything before they bring it to market. There's not too many glitches or too many bugs with the mods when they release them. It's very comfortable. The button is very comfortable. Doesn't matter if I'm trigger firing it. My preferred way is the thumb fire. Very comfortable. The NRG tank that it comes with is a solid tank. It takes Baby Beast coils. You're gonna like that because you can get those anywhere. I mean anywhere. So you don't got the GT coils, you can throw a Baby Beast coil in there. Or my preferred is the Watofo Flow tank coils. I really like those. They're low wattage, really good flavor. They tend to last for, like, in my personal experience, about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. And that's consistently vaping on it. Like constant vape all the time. You know, anywhere between 12 to 16 hours a day off of it. I get about 2.5 to 3 weeks on those coils. And I also hear that Vaporesso just released their C-cells for this tank. Their C-cell coils, and we've had very good experience with the C-cells in the past. If you've ever vaped on the C-cell, it's a ceramic coil. Flavor's really good, and the longevity's there. But hate to cut it a little bit short. There's not too much about this mod that I can really go into explaining to anybody. It's really simple. Anybody can pick this up and figure out how to operate it. You don't really need to look at the user manual. You can just play around with the buttons and you'll figure out everything that it does. I would like to tell you that there's more to it, but there's really not, and there shouldn't have to be. I mean, you don't need all kinds of glitters and lights and stuff to make a good mod. This thing is it's solid. I actually really enjoy this mod, and I can't even explain to you why I enjoy this mod. I do not like this drip tip though. I don't. If they didn't have that spit guard in there, I feel like it'd be a better vape. In fact, you know what? Here, I'm just gonna take this drip tip off and I'm gonna hit it without no drip tip just to see what that vape would actually be like. Get that thing off. It's really in there, man. It is a tight fit. No, it just tends to be a restrictive draw, I guess. And drip tip's not doing a whole lot. I do feel it backing off, which is weird. Oh, you know what? I forgot in the close-up. You can, in your variable watt settings, if you go into the settings, I'll see if I can get this closer to the camera so you guys can actually see this. You do have your normal, high, and soft. I have it on high right now. I'm going to switch it back to normal and see if I get like a more consistent vape than I am on that high, because it seems to be hitting really hard and then kind of backing off. So I'm going to go to normal mode here and exit right out of there and see if maybe I get a more consistent vape. Oh yeah. Yeah, the normal mode seems to stay right on it. It doesn't seem to hit really hard and then back off. It seems to just be very consistent with the vape. I'm getting the same vape. Oh, flavor is just really good. I don't know if it's just the juice. That Flantastico is a fantastic juice. I don't know if it's just the juice or if these coils are actually providing that kind of flavor, but it's pretty stellar. But for right now, guys, that's it. That's all I got. Revenger Kit by Vaporesso. I know it's just kind of a older video. I'm just kind of getting it out there, want to get my opinion on it. It's a great device. I would suggest that you pick it up. Lots of pros, really no cons to this. Solid tank, solid flavor, solid performance, just solid. It's just solid. There's no button rattle whatsoever. The one thing that I can say is maybe a subjective con is that I've noticed that this back plate, sometimes it just kind of shifts a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. So for right now, that's what I know. And now you know.